Our next presentation is from CLT. So we welcome Mr. Picky Airi.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to colleagues in WeWork, Rabal, and POM. I think the first two presentations set the context for what I'd like to share with you to the direction CLT is taking to supporting teaching and learning. So the big question that I would like to share with you this morning is, how do we help you run this race? And with that question, I'd like to share with you three main strategic objectives. And along that line, we share what's new and what we continue to do that we've been doing in the past years. So the first one is on transformative educational experiences. These are some of the activities that we've been doing and we will continue to do, for this year. When you look at some of these activities, I've put a star next to a few of them. So when you ask the question, what's new? Those are the new things that we will be doing this year. I think the Rabal campus has expressed an important aspect of module training. So we will try to do an increased student module training, both for students and for staff. So these are activities that we are planning to do to support your students in running this race. SPSS for Research is another new initiative. We put through one of our staff members through training to be able to offer this program. We've seen that the university spends almost 100,000 on Team, and not a lot of the staff use this. So we would like to, staff and students especially. So we would like to focus more attention on Team for students, helping students to understand what's the purpose of the originality report and how they can use it to improve their writing. So this ties in with our literacy programs and on APA referencing and English for academic purposes. Another new initiative that we'd like to talk with faculty deans is the idea of career talk. And the main objective here is to improve awareness of what's out there. After 4 years of study in Divine Word, how do our students see themselves in terms of what career they are looking at when they leave Divine Word? So this will be done in two modes. We're looking at face-to-face. That's if we find someone within our locality here to be able to come on campus and talk to students. Again, we're going to do this by faculty. So we'll be talking with the deans on how we can best approach this. Or we will do this either virtually also. Okay, there are a lot of our alumni out there. We'd like to invite them and do a session virtually so they can talk to students on what they're doing out there. So we don't wait until open day and we start pushing hundreds of videos through the internet where only a few people will see. Let's build that momentum up to open day. Digital citizenship is something we started last year, which was a bit open. However, the attendance wasn't very good. And we'd like to focus this now to year ones. So as a library director explained, it's more about building a positive culture because you can see we all use digital technology. How do we get our students to build a positive culture around digital technology? It can be either used for the good or for the bad. So we need to do some training on that. The next one is focused at innovation in teaching and learning and more towards enhancing academic and staff, admin staff capabilities. And again, increased staff module and training is one thing that we will be looking at for Rabal and WeWork. We thank a library team that we are sharing a staff with them for Rabal. So please, it will take us some time for module training to be increased unless we have a dedicated staff. They'll be fully focused on running trainings for module. At the moment, we are sharing a staff. So we have to be careful not to take most of the time away from library and do module training. We're also sharing a staff with ICT for POM campus. So we're slowly trying to build a momentum on module training in those campuses. But the focus will be more on WeWork and Rabal. MS Teams, ICT have now informed us that MS Teams is available. So we'll be running MS Teams trainings again for academic staff. You will notice that last year we focus more on Zoom. So now we are switching to MS Teams. How are they different? They're not very much different. The steep learning curve for you, the learning curve for you by now would not be steep if we did not do Zoom. So we've done Zoom already. When we switch over to MS Teams, it's going to be easy. So this is now focusing on academic. So where do we use MS Teams? For academic programs, teaching and learning. Where do we use Zoom? Administrative meetings. That's the approach we would like to take. Another program we're introducing is, again, this will be in line with the library, peer-to-peer workshops, and also a virtual book club. A virtual book club for academic staff. There is a plethora of academic literature on teaching and learning, and so much that we don't get to read everything. So let's choose one book for a month. Let's read a chapter. Let's come together and reflect on how are we applying concepts in that book to our teaching and learning, and see if it's helping, if it's improving our pedagogy. Again, Tenytin is something we will focus on, helping academic staff with the originality report, and also using Tenytin to create a marking rubric that you can use. This will make your marking a lot easier when you are marking essays and long assignments. End user computing, this will be open to staff, and also we'd like to maintain the financial literacy training. We started inviting BSP last year. We're now having talks with NCSL for them to come on board and run some sessions on financial literacy. Okay, so you can see that in this part, there is an objective that we are aiming towards. We are running in a race, but we have a finish line. And I want you to see educational technology as a key enabler in this endeavor. Unless you see that, we will not be able to see achieve some of these objectives. So there are a few instructional technologies that we use. And in line with what we are doing, we are also looking at employing a staff who will be focused on instructional design. Now we can't find this kind of staff locally. So if we can get someone and train them, there are a number of training opportunities that are available. That staff will be able to support faculties develop their courses online. It's totally different when you bring traditional classroom to online. So we need to have someone who is going to support academic staff in that endeavor. So there are a few educational technologies that we can leverage on. We have our learning management system. We've upgraded with the help of ICT. We've upgraded the version from the old version 3.5 to now 3.9 for undergraduate, for FL. Undergraduate, we are not yet going to move into it. We'll give access to our teaching staff, and they'll be able to develop their courses until the end of the semester 1. By semester 2, you will move into the new module. That's for undergraduate. For flexible learning, you already have FLC, flexible learning module server available. And then we'll do the same approach for WeWork and Rubble. So we'll try to fast track this and make sure that happens for Moodle. We are using a Safe Exam browser. You can see Safe Exam browser is integrated into Moodle. We'd like to, not yet integrated, we'd like to integrate it into Moodle so that it's easier when we are scheduling exams. Again, this is safeguarding the academic integrity in terms of assessment, especially exams. Tenytin is already integrated. We'd like to also continue some work on virtual university portal to have it integrated into the new Moodle servers that are being deployed. And Microsoft Teams, there's been some interest shown last year about web conferencing, web collaboration, and we've used various tools that are standalone. They are not inside the Moodle system. And since we already have an existing license with Microsoft Teams, we'd like to explore that option, how we can integrate MS Teams into Moodle so we can use it for web conferencing. We've explored a number of tools, but there's some cost implications. So we'd like to look at what we already have and see how we can work with that. H5P. H5P is a plugin that's inside Moodle that hardly staff use it. Please attend a technology-enabled learning workshop. Rather than having very expensive applications that we can use, there are already built-in tools and plugins within Moodle that we can leverage on. So that's the point I'm trying to bring across. Tools are there, plugins are there. Let's make use of them. Attend those workshops so that you can learn how to use these tools. Slowly, we would like to leave Zoom out of the picture in terms of Moodle. This will be mainly for administrative purposes. Okay, so last year you will have observed that towards the end of my presentation, I shared something about building a community of practice. So how do we build a community of practice? There are a number of approaches we can take. Now we've taken two approaches. We've developed social learning and sharing spaces for academics. One is available on SharePoint. We shared the link with a few staff. Please, when you log into your Microsoft sign in, you go to SharePoint, search for websites, you'll see CLT news and updates. That's where we share our calendar, we share activities and what other staff are doing. There's also a private social learning space for DW academic community on Facebook. And again, that's private, only for academic staff. This is something to try to ensure we foster that community of practice. We are working on updating our website. Once we update our website, we'll try to integrate some learning spaces and move some of this into those learning spaces. Another thing we would like to focus on this year is you've already heard from the QA director, in terms of awareness on policies. We'd like to create bite-sized. Okay, so we have a number of these videos that we'll be sharing with staff, and we're looking for those with beautiful voices to come and do voiceovers for the videos. Thank you.